Okay, so after modding my Zach Wild wah pedal, it would appear that I've been bitten by the pedal fairy, and I've decided, right, okay then, that wasn't too bad. Let's see if we can do something else. So I contacted the nice people at pedalparts.co.uk, Poodle Pedal Parts actually, and spoke to Lee, or rather emailed Lee, and we got into a bit of a conversation, and I purchased one of their kits, which is a lovely Fuzz Factory Clone. So seems a bit complicated. It's a bit, well, it doesn't seem a bit complicated. It looks complicated, but I don't think it's too bad. Nice little miniature micro PCB board. Put a couple of the resistors in already, just trying it out, and we'll see where we go. All the bits and pieces, transistors, germanium, caps and all sorts. Some nice alpha pots, thank you very much. Nice case, bits and pieces, some nice knobs to go on there when I've done, and of course the switches and wires and bits and pieces. So we'll see how we go on, and wish me luck. Before I go, I'd just like to say again, get yourself a nice little multimeter. It will prove invaluable in this process. Right, let's crack on and see how we go on. Okay, just another little tip for you as well, that you need to be aware about. Transistors are polarised. The standard is the long leg on the transistor is positive and the short leg is negative. It's also marked out at the side as well. If I can turn it over, fiddly little bleeding things there. If you see on the short leg, it usually has a stripe down with some negative marks on it. If you can make them out as a negative mark, I don't know. Anyway, there's a stripe on there. Standard is long leg positive. Just remember that when you put it into the boards, because some of the boards will actually, if you look on that one there, it is marked out as positive and negative. Positive is a square block, and the negative is a little round one. Okay, so bear that in mind. Also, when we're talking about these germanium transistors as well, the emitter, the E, when it asks for it, is always next to that little tag. If you can see that, there's a little tag there. So the leg closest to the little tag is the emitter, then the base, and then the collector is that one. So it's E, B, C. Okay, I apologise, there we go. So that little tag there, so it's E, B, C, and just bear that in mind as well, because it will be marked on the board. Let me have a look on there. There you go. Under the AC, the Q one there, E, B, C. Okay then, just another little tip. Okay, so that's all the resistors and transistors put in. So now we've just got to start wiring up some pots and the ins and outs and power and all the rest of it. That's the gate for the pots. That's the comp pot. That's the drive pot. That's the stability pot. And then that's the volume pot there. And then there's an in and out for the power, ground, and then that's a 9-volt battery as well there. So the ground one, there's only one on the board. There's several connections to go to it, so what we're going to do is take a common ground earth off that one, feed it into probably, I don't know, one of the pots somewhere, and then we'll run the common ground from all that to that, because we can't get all the common grounds into that one. So there we go. Okay, and I'll just flip it over and let you see what the back of it looks like. So that's the back of it. That's my soldering. Not too bad, not the brilliant, not too bad, but you can see a reasonable job. And let's fingers crossed. Let's hope it works and there's no dry solder there. Okay. Well, I just thought I'd stop at this point just to show you what a complete nightmare and a mess it is. It's not the easiest thing to do. There's a lot to be said for buying your pedals already made, I'll have to give you that. But it is a lot of fun. It is very frustrating. You do get pissed off with certain bits, but there you go. So we'll keep going. So bits and pieces to do yet, but there you go. Okay, another quick update. You learn as you go along, I tend to think, which I certainly have done. There's a common earth, I think I mentioned it earlier on, about there being a lot of going to the board ground. And what I decided was, since there's about 4 or 5 places that you need to go into, but it all goes just into that single, if you can see it there, the yellow one. I've done grounding in the yellow, so I can chase everything, and I've done all the powers, with it being the 9 volt, or the actual mains power that clips in there or whatever. I've done that in red, and then the other bits and pieces I'm going to do in whatever colours we've got available. But basically the yellow is going to be the ground, and I've ended up feeding 4 or 5 different grounds to that, and that's going to be the common one, and then it goes all the way back up here into the board. So there you go, you can see that. I think it says ground there, and that obviously runs into that one, and then all the feed off of there as well. Okay then, we've finished. We've actually done it. It's taken a few hours longer than I thought. Top tip: get yourself a decent, and I mean a decent soldering irons, should I say. It will save you hours and hours of frustration. I'll just flip it over and show what we've done. Look at that jumbled mess in there. I've left that a bit longer. I'm actually going to power it, so if I was going to tidy it up, I'd probably chop one of these wires down, so I could bring that in a bit closer. You know what I mean? But I'm going to leave it as it is. Yeah, 5 pots in there. Look at all that jumble of wires in there. Absolute nightmare. I haven't even actually tried it yet, so I couldn't tell you whether it works. Obviously there's the power, the main input power there. Got the pots, switches here. There's the main board in there. As you can see, I've just put a little bit of cardboard under there, put a bit of electrical tape on either side and stuck it down. It's not going to go anywhere because the wires are keeping it pretty tight in there. So there you go. So that's what it looks like inside. Like I say, it's not easy. It is enjoyable, if a little frustrating. So if you're thinking about making a pedal because you want to save money, don't. Just buy the pedal. If you want to, build a kit because you're interested in it and think, right, yeah, I'll have a go at that, then it's well worth it. But make sure you have some decent equipment. That's all I'm going to say. Multimeters are great. You need to have one of those, without a shadow of a doubt. It'll save you hours of frustration. Again, a really good soldering iron. I can't emphasise that enough. Don't get a little epoxy one because they're absolutely useless. They won't last, and you'll be just sitting there trying to heat up the terminals and everything, and it's an absolute nightmare. So don't bother. So get yourself a decent soldering iron. Take your time, like I say. If I was doing another one, I'd probably make these a little bit shorter, some of these wires to the pots. Obviously I've left them all the same length because I didn't know where the pots were going to go and all the rest of it. I've not painted it, as you can see. I've just left it as it is. If I want to paint it, it's easy enough to undo everything and strip it down. Not even mark these up yet, so I think I'll just probably mark them up with a marker pen underneath. Volume, gate, comp, drive and stability. Just the standard ones that they are on the Fuzz Factory, and there you go, little LED there. So we'll give it a go and see if it works. As you've seen me other ones, I tend not to play, so I'd get somebody decent to play it. But I'll report back and tell you if it actually works or not. Okay then. Okay, there's the pedal finished. Obviously I've not painted it, but I'll probably get round to that if I can be bothered. I won't say it's been easy because it hasn't been easy, and I won't say I haven't had any problems because I have. But I think that's the part and parcel of building a pedal. Especially, what I would say is if you're going to build a pedal for the first time, which is pretty much what I've done here, is get something a bit more simple, a simple boost or whatever. Get a bit of experience under your belt before you do anything. This isn't perfect by far. The LED it still doesn't work, if I'm honest. I think that's a simple. I probably wired it in wrong or whatever. So I'm going to change the LED and rewire it and see where we go. It's not a big shake. It's actually working. It didn't work, if I'm honest. But I contacted Lee at poodlepedals.com. Lovely guy. Gave me a lot of help. We decided that I probably wired the switch wrongly, so we did took the switch out completely, did a bit of resoldering, and tested it, and did how he said to do it, and I got the pedal up and running. So obviously revisited the switch, rechecked the wiring, unsoldered one or two bits and pieces, and resoldered the boards in and out. Can't stress enough to get a decent soldering iron. It really does make your life a lot easier. Get a few bits and pieces, a few tools, just help yourself out, and there you go. Again, I don't particularly play very well, so I won't be showing you, but what I will do is at some point I'll probably get my mate to run through it. There's some weird and wonderful sounds that goes through this thing, weird oscillation shit and all sorts, so there you go. But if you want a Muse box, really, Matt Bellamy, I'm no Matt Bellamy, but there you go. The Fuzz Factory Clone by Poodle Pedal Parts. He's on Facebook, check him out. Nice guy, will help you out. There you go. Thanks for watching. Cheers.